Me.
No countdown. This is where it gets fun. This is where I come alive.
We're just ready to show up, and Jake's in good shape. His mind is very locked in and focused for this. So, we're all looking forward to it.
Jake Paul is fully locked into an intense heavyweight training camp in Miami ahead of his December 19th showdown with Anthony Joshua. He has brought in high-level sparring partners to match Joshua's size and power while working closely with experienced coaches. Specialized therapists and advanced training equipment are included in his program to enhance strength, speed, and strategic accuracy. Every session focuses on sharpening technique, increasing endurance, and building mental readiness, ensuring Paul is prepared for the biggest test of his career and moving toward the fight with total focus and determination.
Time to shock the world, baby. Time to shock the world again. You motherfucking sauce.
Jake Paul's training camp for his upcoming fight with Anthony Joshua shows a level of commitment few truly understand. His coach explains that much of Jake's hard work and sacrifice happens out of the public eye. Long hours in the gym, demanding conditioning sessions, and precise technical drills are all part of the grind fans never witness. His coach stresses that people often underestimate the preparation needed to perform at the highest level, especially against someone with Joshua's reputation. Jake's dedication is complete. Physical fatigue and mental pressure are constant parts of his routine. Still, he pushes through every session with focus, proving a level of seriousness that goes far beyond showmanship.
In the camp, and Jake sacrificed a lot to get ready for the last fight on top of releasing the new brand W. And so he needed a break. And so we took a month off, got right back in there, and now we're getting ready for Mike. And we're not as heavy as we were before, which is a plus for us. I didn't want us to go back up, but you can guarantee he's gonna be ready to fight. I think in the last 6 weeks, you've seen Jake slowly tighten himself up and get himself prepared, and he's really locked in now. So what we've been able to see is Jake evolve into the gladiator. He's slowly evolving into the gladiator that he has to become for fight night. About time he finishes the camp and goes through everything he needs to go through, by that night, he'll be fully prepared. His outer shell that he needs to be able to go in there and be the gladiator for the night, they'll have that ready, and that's what you see happening now.
Every aspect of his training is directed toward one objective: securing victory against a proven former champion. Analysts point out that Jake's mental preparation is just as crucial as his physical work. He visualizes every scenario, anticipates obstacles, and designs his sessions to build confidence while targeting areas that need improvement. This mental conditioning helps him stay calm under pressure and execute his game plan without hesitation when the moment demands it. Paul's psychological growth highlights a maturity that has developed over multiple fights, establishing him as far more than a social media personality who stepped into boxing.
Built for this. Enjoy the process, enjoy the moment. When it's over, I'm gonna be missing these moments.
145.
Sparring partners are a vital part of Jake Paul's preparation. According to members of his team, Paul has consistently challenged himself against experienced fighters, sometimes defeating them and making a point of showing the gap in skill and determination. The current focus on Anthony Joshua represents the first training challenge that truly matches the size and power he will face in the ring. Sparring partners note that this is exactly what Jake is looking for, an opponent who pushes him to his limits, forcing him to adjust and perfect his strategies. The sparring sessions allow him to practice reactions under pressure, sharpen defensive skills, and test offensive combinations that could be decisive against a heavyweight of Joshua's level.
Paul, when that was, how much sparring you did with him?
So training with Jake Paul, I got to understand how he was as a fighter. He was new into the boxes. You know, he was developing at a very quick rate. This guy trained his ass off. Like, we was spar twice a week in the hot ass gym in Puerto Rico. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. into me. Dude, when I tell you Jake was beating up all these professional boxers who was sparring them, it was just one of those like, bro, he was whooping their ass and sending them home. That same night, he told everybody bluntly, I'm sending you, and home. Only person saying he's this guy, Anthony. And he was like, the reason why, because this motherfucker's coming here and giving me work that I need.
Tony Jeff, a respected boxing trainer, highlights the unmatched intensity of Jake Paul's current camp. He stresses that this is far from a standard training program. It mirrors the preparation typically reserved for Olympic-level athletes. Paul uses cutting-edge equipment, highly specialized conditioning methods, and personalized coaching that targets every facet of performance. The camp is designed to enhance not only strength, but also speed, endurance, and technical skill, offering a complete approach to elite-level boxing preparation. Jeff points out that Paul's regimen allows him to adapt quickly to new challenges and maintain a competitive advantage early in the fight. Unlike traditional boxing camps that may concentrate heavily on a single aspect of performance, this all-encompassing approach ensures Paul is well-rounded and ready for the diverse challenges he will face against Joshua. The intensity and sophistication of this environment emphasize Paul's dedication to achieving success at the highest level.
Rotating, just like you'd be throwing a hook. You see there, he's caught it, he's pulled it back, turning into it, boom. We also see he's getting in the ice bath here. Now, ice baths is not just good for recovery, helping with the inflammation in your body after what you've been putting it through, but it's also good for the mental side of things. Because when you go in an ice bath, everything in your mind is saying, get out of here, what are you doing? So you've got to get past that part of your mind that's telling you that and push through it. So it's great for your mindset as well. Now, one more thing I just want to add with Jake Paul's training before I give you a recap on it. We always see him training. Look, he's got like a group of people around him. There's cameramen there, there's coaches there, all spurring him on. Now, boxing is normally a very lonely sport. When you're in the gym, it's normally you and your coach. Unless you're dealing with a group of people, it's harder for you to get the one-on-one attention that you need. So when you're fighting as a pro, when I was fighting as a pro, it was often just me, coach. Sometimes there will be another guy in there as well. Sometimes my dad would come, which really helped push me through the session. But when my friends did ever come, maybe one session here and there, that spurred me on even more to get the most out of us. As we see here, he's got people around him all the time. Cameramen, coaches, friends, strength and conditioning coaches, his boxing coach, and he's just his full team around him who's getting paid. What that does is help the fighter, in this case Jake, get more out of the sessions rather than being there by himself, which I think is great. When I was training for the Olympics, we had that sort of support around us and it was amazing. But when I turned pro...
Dan Raphael, a veteran boxing analyst, observes notable growth in Jake Paul's abilities since his bout with Tommy Fury. Raphael highlights improvements in technique, stamina, and tactical awareness, noting that Paul has gained a more sophisticated understanding of in-ring dynamics. However, he also warns that despite these gains, the challenge presented by Joshua remains immense. Paul's development shows he can learn and adapt, but analysts stress that the upcoming fight will test his capacity to apply these lessons under extreme pressure. Raphael's insight strikes a balance between optimism and realism. While Paul has clearly progressed as a fighter, facing a former unified champion demands flawless execution and strategic precision. This assessment reflects a measured recognition of Paul's efforts and the reality that professional growth is ongoing, especially when preparing for a fight of historical significance. The Wade Concept host adds a critical perspective on Paul's mindset, cautioning against overconfidence. While self-belief is essential in combat sports, it can cross into denial. Analysts warn that Paul may be nearing this point, relying too much on confidence rather than fully addressing the challenges posed by Joshua's experience and power. The host emphasizes that entering the ring with delusion is risky, highlighting the need for both realistic preparation and psychological resilience.
He's actively like, yes, I am going to knock out AJ. And in any other timeline, we'd all point and laugh. And some people still are pointing and laughing, but I'm just sitting here going, what has he seen that makes him believe that? Not only of what's happened to AJ, sure, he's been knocked out by Daniel Dubois, another 240-pound champion of the world, but what has he seen in himself that makes him think he's going to knock out AJ when he hasn't knocked out anyone since Mike Perry? And Mike Perry, as we know, is not a high-level boxer. He hasn't knocked out a high-level boxer. He could hurt Julio Cesar Chavez, but Chavez knew to cover up and not engage. Maybe he thinks AJ will engage with him, and AJ does do some bad things in the pocket. Again, we'll save it for another video, but the only thing I can think of, and I said it at the beginning of this video, is Jake is absolutely delusional, and he's convinced himself of what's going to happen based on very very outlying data, right? The Daniel Dubois knockout, how he struggled with Usyk.
Hey,
Who are you fighting when and why?
I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm fucking him. What? I'm fighting Anthony Joshua because I'm him.
Holy shit, just let me take a second. Is this motherfucker out of
Dude,
his
it's
mind?
light work. Light work. Well, at least my good old friend Tyson Fury believes that I can win.
If Jake Paul fights Anthony Joshua, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul. I want some free money.
Smart man, Tyson.
I need to see a bet slip, Tyson. I know you got it like that these days. $1 million's like like a slight 10,000 to the rest of us, or maybe 1,000 after those couple of title fights with Alexander Usyk. But I need to see the bet slip. I saw the line when, and this is kind of crazy, I saw the line when the fight first got made, and we put it in the video. Jake was plus 800 to win. Jake has now moved to plus 650 to win. That's outright. I don't know by knockout, I'm not sure, but plus 800 was already like, okay, that's that's a big underdog. And Joshua was like minus 1,500, but now Joshua's at minus 1,250 and Jake's at plus 650. This line is closing, and I'm wondering why. What are people seeing?
Make no mistake, this is the biggest fight of my career. I'm walking into the lion's den. I'm doing something that no one else has ever done before. I, Jake Joseph Paul, will knock out, defeat, and embarrass Anthony Joshua Friday, December 19th, live on Netflix. My voice cracked, I'm still going through puberty. The biggest fight of 2025, USA versus UK. He's got the belts, the size, the history, but I have the balls. Be careful what you wish for. Jake versus Joshua, Judgment Day. He has a 90% knockout ratio, but I have a 100% chance of drinking this Celsius.
Okay, there we go. Ads only. Yeah, I mean, having balls is good when it comes to making a fight like this, when it comes to, putting yourself out there and again, just operating on self-belief, but it isn't going to win Jake this fight. Him being ballsy is not going to win him this fight. Like, him making the decision to take this fight is ballsy. And we can all say it, and we have said it, and I feel like it's starting to become a thing where it's like, that's the only thing we're saying. I feel like everybody is just pointing out that Jake has big balls for doing this, and that's a ballsy move. And that's correct, but we established that already. So now let's talk about the fight itself. What about Jake's ballsiness is going to win him this fight? The fact that he wants to throw, the fact that he'll mix it up, that may be the worst thing that Jake could do, is mix it up with Anthony Joshua, because again, you get into 50-50s with a guy that can crack like he can, 90% finish rate. He'll put you on the canvas. He's done it to so many other heavyweights. And yes, AJ sometimes is the one that gets clipped in exchanges like that with the left hook, especially.
Former champion Carl Froch highlights the high stakes for both fighters. Joshua's legacy is at risk, with any mistake potentially drawing intense scrutiny from fans and the media. Meanwhile, Paul's rising profile depends on demonstrating that he can handle a legitimate professional challenge and earn credibility with boxing purists. Froch describes the matchup as a defining moment for both athletes, a crossroads where reputation, skill, and career trajectory intersect. He emphasizes that the fight is more than just a physical contest, it is a measure of consistency, composure, and the ability to perform under extreme pressure. The consequences go beyond a single result, shaping long-term perceptions of both fighters and their place within the sport.
So let's just be honest with anybody else. So let's just be straight up honest about it. He's doing it all for the money. It's all about the money. I did say a year ago when he got splattered by Daniel Dubois that he's finished in boxing, he needs to retire. That's just my opinion, that's just my truth. I think he's done in heavyweight boxing at an elite competitive level. So that makes sense. I've been vindicated. He's now fighting fake Paul in what will be a massive mismatch. If this is correct and it's 10-ounce gloves in a professional boxing rules, 8 3-minute rounds, it's not going to go 2 rounds, is it? It shouldn't do. It shouldn't last a round. But we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? It's hard to get your head around. It's hard to know what to say about this. AJ's obviously excited about it, about making some serious bunts. And Jake Paul's telling us that he's going to shut all the haters up by jumping in there with AJ. So what is actually going off? We're not going to know, are we, until the fight actually, till the first bell goes. We're not going to know what's actually behind all this. And we can't start throwing accusations of any sort of skullduggery going off, because we've got to take it at face value. It's not an exhibition, so nothing's pre-scripted. This is a professional boxing match that you can make bets on. So it's got to be a real fight. And if AJ goes in there with them little 10-ounce gloves on and throws the Ngannou 1-2 down the middle. I'm talking about the one that rendered Ngannou unconscious and almost snapped his leg. And Ngannou is a decent fighter in the cage. You know, he's a good MMA fighter, and you saw him, he took Tyson Fury, what did it take him, 8, 9, was it 10 rounds? Can't remember how long it was, but he took him the distance and lost a close decision. So he's quite capable, but AJ is a big punching heavyweight. And
boxing analyst Joey Knight emphasizes the commercial factors behind Jake Paul's choice of opponent. According to Knight, Paul understands that high-profile fights attract massive global attention and significant financial gain. Taking on a renowned former champion like Joshua guarantees extensive media coverage, audience engagement, and revenue at a level rarely available to fighters at his stage. This strategic awareness complements Paul's physical and mental preparation, reflecting a well-rounded approach to career growth that balances sport with business insight. Knight's analysis highlights that modern boxing extends beyond in-ring performance. Strategic decisions about opponents, timing, and publicity play a key role in shaping a fighter's career path, with financial considerations often weighing alongside competitive objectives.
Maybe not as much as the Anthony Joshua fight, but a lot of cash, and can still have a serious chance of going on to earn even more paydays. Whereas the damage that it could do to his body could be irreversible for that opportunity to earn money in a boxing career going forward. So is this the retirement bag, or do you actually think you can win? Because I read a study recently, and I believe it said something along the lines of men overemphasize or overcalculate their ability to fight by about 500 times. And I'm saying Jake Paul would probably need to be 500 times better to stand a chance against Anthony Joshua. And I can't get how he doesn't already know this. Surely he has sparred with heavyweights. Surely the recent sparring that he had with the likes of Shakur Stevenson and with the likes of Ray Ford, amongst others, Badu Jack, surely that would have taught you that there are levels to boxing. And if these small guys are able to show you things that you had no idea that you were vulnerable to in a boxing ring, what happens when someone who hits 4, 5, 6 times as hard as that does the exact same thing to you and lands it on your chin? The whole reason of why I know where I am in the influencer boxing scene, in the misfit scene, is because of the level that I have sparred at. I've sparred boys that have gone on to box for world titles. I've sparred with English champions.
Legendary ring announcer Michael Buffer highlights the cultural impact of the Paul brothers on modern boxing. He notes that Jake and Logan Paul have successfully drawn a younger audience to the sport, generating excitement and cultivating a fresh fan base. Buffer commends their talent for creating engaging narratives, building anticipation, and attracting wide viewership. By combining athletic performance with a strong media presence, the Paul brothers have helped bring renewed attention to boxing, showcasing the influence of strategic branding alongside genuine sporting ability.
Are fantastic athletes. You know what Logan does with the WWE and what Jake does with boxing, he knocks people out and everything. And they both have massive fan bases, and for me, it's great to see people get young people that follow them that didn't have they don't remember Ali or Joe Frazier or whatever. It's not in their wheelhouse. So it's great to see them developing fight fans.